Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for connecting and joining me today on this webinar. I'm Lana Bennett from Tours International, and I'm really excited to showcase some of the tours that we can offer you. I do just need to start with some webinar housekeeping. So if you do have any technical questions, please private chat Corey in the chat box. During the webinar itself, if you have any questions for myself, please go ahead and put those in the Q&A box. And at the end of the webinar and at the end of the presentation, I'll try and answer as many as I can, but please rest assured that any that I don't answer or don't answer as fully as I would like to or as you would hope, I'll come back to you directly afterwards. Any questions that you see that you would like to upvote, you can upvote them by clicking the thumbs up button on each question. If you click on the handout section of the chat box, you'll find some direct URL links to our website. And just to let everyone know that the webinar is being recorded and everyone will receive a copy of this within the next week. So that wraps up the housekeeping. Before I begin with the slides, I'd like to start by showing you a short film which will give an overview of what we can organise and some of the places that we can take your clients to. So please do sit back and enjoy for the next minute or so. I hope you enjoyed that. As you saw from the video, we offer a wide range of special interest themes, some of which I have listed here, from Christmas tours to history, heritage and royalty, luxury tours, military, music, literary, and all those you can see listed. All of our group tours are bespoke and curated to meet your brief and your client's brief. To benefit from competitive rates, I'm sure most of you know that group numbers should ideally start from about 15, 20 people, but we can of course organise groups smaller than this. And definitely since after the pandemic, we've seen an uptick in requests for smaller groups of 10, 12 people. We don't have a maximum size. Our average size groups vary from around 25 to 40 people, but we do frequently have groups nearer to the 100 mark, and I've had groups well over 350 in the past as well. Today, I'm going to focus on what we perceive to be our 5 hero themes of the moment: film and TV locations, history, heritage and royalty, Christianity, military, and Christmas. First of all, I'm going to start with the film and TV locations tour. I've just got a quick poll for you. I'd like to know your thoughts on what you feel is the most requested film and TV location tour of the moment. You want to go ahead and put a selection in and then submit. The choices are All Creatures Great and Small, Bridgerton, Downton Abbey, Harry Potter, James Bond, and The Crown. Okay. So if you have submitted, the most popular at the moment are a tie between All Creatures Great and Small and Bridgerton. So I'll move on. As you can see from this slide, we can take the poll down. As you can see from this slide, the film and locations tours, like the majority of our tours, cover the breadth of the UK. We do like to make our tours as regionally spread as possible, visiting key cities, but also taking visitors off the main track and showing the hidden gems that our country has to offer. So thus maximising all their time and experience, and of course creating as many unforgettable moments for them as possible. These three tours here, The Crown, Bridgerton and Downton Abbey, can be really nice standalone tours, but they do make a fantastic extended tour when you combine them all together, exploring the themes of the upstairs, downstairs lifestyles, high society and royalty. And as well as covering film and TV locations, it's a perfect example of how themes will cross over. So a tour such as this would include other subjects such as history and Regency in England, for example. As the slide shows, all three of these TV drama productions are a great example to see some of the stunning stately homes and castles that England and Scotland have to offer, as well as contrasting the cities and countryside sites and offering the opportunity of enjoying a ride on a heritage railway. As mentioned from the poll, All Creatures Great and Small is really popular at the moment, and we are constantly asked to include this in our tours. The brilliant thing about this topic is that the main sites can be visited in just one day, and due to the filming mainly taking place in the village of Grassington, which is in Yorkshire, it's a great way to break up a tour, taking in both England and Scotland and using it as one of the midway points. The village was, and it still is during times of filmings, completely transformed into the village of Darrowby. So any viewers of All Creatures Great and Small will know what I'm talking about. And the other locations listed, such as Mallamlings and Broughton Hall, are all within close proximity to the village, as is the James Herriot Museum, which is an award-winning attraction and celebrates the life of the Yorkshire vet. And it's set in his fully restored home and surgery, and you see his place of work and house as if he's just stepped out of the building. So it really does give you the feeling of what life was like during the time he was practicing. And as mentioned, the great thing about All Creatures Great and Small is that it is a one-stop location shop for set jetters. And likewise, other TV locations that offer this are Call the Midwife, where you can visit the set in Chatham at the historic dockyards, and you'll be given a film locations tour by a costumed midwife, as you can see on the image here. Doc Martin was filmed in the small coastal village of Port Isaac in Cornwall, and Poldark was also filmed in Cornwall. So if your tour was to focus on Poldark, for example, you can easily just include Doc Martin as an added bonus. It's simply just allowing half a day here. So Harry Potter is another big name and a popular ask, and possibly one that you thought would be one of our most popular at the moment. With this tour, we like to encourage clients to think and be prepared to go as regional as possible. There are so many options for this tour, in addition to the well-known Warner Brothers Studio Tour, which of course is hugely impressive. However, there are many other sites that allow you an interactive experience, such as a broomstick lesson at Alnwick Castle. And if you haven't been to Alnwick Castle and you are a Harry Potter fan, as soon as you get there, the building will be instantly recognisable as Hogwarts. Or you can ride on the Hogwarts Express, which is the Scottish steam train along the famous Scottish Viaduct. And the final location tour that I will speak about today is Masters of the Air location tour. And this is new for 2024, and we launched this in line with the Apple TV series earlier this year. It's another perfect example as well of how themes cross over. So this tour would cross over film locations with military and also aviation. And it allows your clients to see towns and villages used in the actual series, but also original airfields, aircraft and Nissen huts. And linking this all together, we can take it deeper into the theme of World War II and Winston Churchill as well. And we can visit his place of birth and death, the new 5-star hotel, which was the old War Office, It's a Raffles Hotel in London, and it's home to a suite which was Churchill's original office. And it's also in this building where Ian Fleming, when he worked for Britain's Naval Intelligence Service, was inspired to write James Bond. And also the film does feature in Skyfall when James Bond is standing at the top of the building. So our next hero theme is that of history, heritage and royalty. We've run several popular past royal celebration tours, including a Jubilee tour for the late Queen Elizabeth's Jubilee, and we also ran a coronation tour over the dates that King Charles was coronated. And the success of these tours, in addition to customised group tours on the theme of royalty, is why I know that this theme is such a hot topic for American visitors. And when in London, no matter what special interest themed tour they may be on, there is nearly always the request to incorporate some royal sites, such as Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle, the Tower of London, Westminster Abbey. On this slide, you'll see some other suggested sites for tours that focus on Royal London. And we can incorporate shopping experiences at stores that hold the royal warrant, exclusive visits of the palaces, and of course, grab that all-important selfie with your favourite royal at Madame Tussauds. A key British royal figure, and one that garners lots of interest, is the Tudor King Henry VIII. Visit the main sites associated with his life and reign in London and Kent in the southeast of England, as well as Sudeley Castle in the Cotswolds and the Mary Rose in Portsmouth. So another great opportunity to visit not only London, but some of those regions and countryside locations as well. The Bridgerton series has really shone a light on the theme of Regency England and English society and etiquette during this era. Covering the locations for this tour would be linked to the Prince Regent, so where he lived, was crowned, died and was buried, the Royal Pavilion in Brighton, which was constructed as the seaside pleasure palace for King George IV, and Royal Tunbridge Wells, which is a Georgian spa town. And I'll give you a couple of fun facts about Tunbridge Wells. One is that it's my hometown, and two, Tunbridge Wells is one of only 3 towns in England to have been granted the royal title, and the other 2 being Leamington Spa and Wootton Bassett. And no doubt a must-do on this tour is Bath, with the Roman baths and pump rooms, its links to Jane Austen and the famous Royal Crescent. And due to its strong Regency England characteristics, in Bridgerton, the majority of the external shots of the cast walking in and around London are actually filmed in Bath. The third hero theme that I'm going to speak about is Christianity, and the first being Celtic Christianity tours. We run many of these tours, and when done in full, you need to allow a duration of approximately 21 to 22 nights. But of course, we can simplify it or shorten it or even extend it further if desired. The tour covers Ireland, Scotland and Northern England and takes in religious burial grounds, shrines, early settlement locations, historic abbeys, monasteries, cathedrals, and holy islands such as Iona and the holy island of Lindisfarne. And so because it's covering those 3 countries, it's great also for people that have possibly never travelled to the UK, and it's a great way to see as much as possible in one trip. Our second most popular Christianity tour is John Wesley, an evangelist and leader of the movement within the Church of England, Methodism. Your groups would visit his house and chapel in London, St Paul's Cathedral, and other museums and chapels that are linked to him and his preaching. And then travelling outside of London, you would expect to take in Oxford and Bristol, which are 2 key cities in the Wesley story. The early English pilgrimage is usually either run as a standalone tour or sometimes as an extension to those journeying the Celtic Christianity trail and then wish to travel further south within England. This one would encompass sites such as Walsingham Shrine, which is known as England's Nazareth, and further south into Kent looks into the history and story of St Augustine, which covers Canterbury, Rochester and the Kent coast, as well as key Christianity sites in London such as Westminster Abbey, Westminster Cathedral and Lambeth Palace. So now I've got another poll question for you. I'd be really keen to know if you are interested in selling any of these tours that I've talked about, or perhaps another Christianity faith tour that I haven't mentioned. So go ahead and type your selection, and I will respond to anyone afterwards as well if you do have an interest in that. Okay, thank you. On to military tours. This has historically always been a really strong theme for Tours International, and we pride ourselves on our reputation on this theme and the expertise that we can offer to enhance the experience. So just another quick poll question for you, just seeing if you already sell World War II and battlefield tours. That's great, thank you. As I'm sure you know, this year has been huge with the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and these 5 yearly celebrations only seem to get bigger, better and more sentimental as families, friends, historians and enthusiasts choose to travel to Normandy and tread in the footsteps on the beaches of those that sacrificed their lives all those years ago. We run these tours for customised groups throughout the year, not just over the June the 6th period, and take in the main Normandy sites listed on this slide, such as St Mary Glees, Point de Hoc, military cemeteries, the American, British and German cemeteries, Braycourt Manor and the airborne drop zones, and of course the famous beaches. And then following on from the Normandy tour, we have the England in World War II and Winston Churchill tour, which is often done in conjunction with the Normandy tour or by itself. And some of these sites you'll recognise as those that I mentioned earlier as the crossover with the Masters of the Air filming locations tour, such as Blenheim Palace, where Churchill was born. But you'd also take in Bletchley Park, home of the Codebreakers, Dover Castle and the secret wartime tunnels, and London sites such as Churchill War Rooms and Imperial War Rooms, Whitehall, Downing Street. And if you travel to Cambridge area, you'll see the Duxford Imperial War Museum, which will focus on aviation, and the Cambridge American Cemetery and Memorial at Madingley. And we can arrange for your groups to lay a wreath here. And sorry, I should have also mentioned that we can organise a wreath laying ceremony for your groups in the American Cemetery as well in Normandy, and that overlooks Omaha Beach. So the final hero theme is Christmas, which is quickly drawing closer to us. This theme has been picking up traction, especially for groups in the past couple of years. So what would be your must-do Christmas activity when visiting the UK? So you've got carol singing in a cathedral, mince pie making workshop, making a blown glass bauble to take home for your Christmas tree or perhaps give to a gift, a festive speedboat ride on the Thames, watching a traditional pantomime, which is very British, or enjoying a traditional turkey Christmas lunch with all the trimmings by the fire. Go ahead and put your selections in. Perfect. So staying just within London, there's plenty to see and do to get into the festive spirit. But to name a few favourites that our clients have enjoyed would be a mince pie making workshop, attending Christmas pantomime at the Royal Palladium, and also a production of A Christmas Carol, which returns annually to the Old Vic each year. The Kew Gardens Christmas Trail is very popular. It's called Christmas at Kew, and it's got plenty of light illuminations to admire and then enjoy your festive treats along the way. The castles and palaces are always dressed magnificently for Christmas and well worth a visit at this time of year, even if you've seen them before. And also new for 2024, which I wanted to mention, the Up at the O2 climb is launching a new product. So Up at the O2, if you're not aware of it, that's the attraction where you climb up and onto the top of the O2 arena. And for the first time this year, they are creating a snow globe at the top of the O2, where you climb up and into, you'll enter the snow globe, and Christmas will truly fill the air around you. There'll be snowfall surrounding you, the aroma of gingerbread men, and you'll enjoy a Christmas cookie and a refreshing drink. And other fun inclusions can be a festive speedboat ride along the Thames and a festive afternoon tea on board a London double-decker bus whilst you admire the city lights. And as I've mentioned a few times, we like to push our clients to travel as much of the UK as possible and broaden these tours to include London, but also travel further afield. And this will give your groups the chance to visit and also shop at some of the best Christmas markets in the country, such as Bath, Winchester and Salisbury. Another must do is obviously to include the traditional Christmas lunch with all the trimmings by the fire. We can offer a range of workshops in addition to the mince pie one and the bauble glass one. You can make Christmas crackers, other tree decorations. And travelling into the counties allows a wider range of those stately home visits, which will all be dressed in festive decor, attendance at a cathedral for a carol concert, and also you can travel to Rochester in Kent for the Dickensian Christmas Festival. Now, although not listed as one of our top hero themes, I just wanted to briefly mention another popular one, which is literary tours. We can organise tours for all of these literary figures mentioned here. Agatha Christie, Jane Austen, the Brontes, Charles Dickens, Enid Blyton, Thomas Hardy, Sherlock Holmes and William Shakespeare, and also Wordsworth, Roald Dahl, A. Mill, and also famous fictional characters such as Paddington Bear. And before I finish, although I have talked about our main operations, which is group travel, I did want to touch on that we also offer a small selection of bookable tours for individual travellers, which covers a few of our special interest tours, such as Jane Austen, Henry VIII, and Gems of TV tour, which would be a film locations tour covering Bridgerton, The Crown, and Downton Abbey. So those three key ones that I talked about at the beginning of the presentation. And also some battlefield military tours such as a Normandy 5-day tour and a Winston Churchill tour. So once again, thank you so much for listening. I hope you found it interesting and I hope you've heard something or hopefully several themes that you feel will be interesting and relevant to your clients. Here you can see our contact details. So please do refer to our website and get in contact if you have any requests or questions. In the meantime, I'm happy to look at the Q&A section of the chat and see if there are any questions that have not been answered. I think all of them have. Yes, we have done J.R.R. Tolkien, so we can do tours for them as well. And with the literary tours, sometimes people will want to do just one literary figure or combine 2 or 3 or combine a whole host, and we can tailor it and adapt as per your instruction. So for groups, Rocky has asked about commission. For groups, we give net rates, so then you would add on your own markup before you sell that on, as we'll sell it as a group package for you. For our bookable tours, we do have a commission structure, so I can send that to you afterwards to how that works. Let me just see if there's anything else that hasn't been answered. We've got quite a few about the commission, so I can definitely get those to you. Oh, what is sorry, there was a question that just popped up, I've lost it. What is the duration of a typical group itinerary for all creatures great and small? So as mentioned, all creatures great and small, it's sort of a one-stop shop. So you can actually do that in 1 day or 2 days maximum, which is why, as opposed to running it as a standalone tour, quite a lot of clients will want to incorporate that into a wider filming locations tour, because there's a lot to see, but it's all very concentrated in one area. We do provide music tours, yes. So if you head over to our website, you'll be able to see a few that we do, but we do Beatles, we do, what else do we do? We do opera tours, we also do choir tours. So we've had choir groups, I'm not quite sure what music, if there's a specific genre that you're looking for, but we've had choir groups come over where they sing in cathedrals, so we can arrange that as well. They'll be like a visiting touring group, and when they visit a cathedral, they can do a singing session as well. But as for music, as in pop and rock and things like that, we can also do tours to the sites associated with the music artists that you might be interested in. I'm just going to scroll through. Michael had asked about the Beatles Museum. So yes, Beatles Museum, the Beatles Story, the Cavern Club. We can also take you to the houses of the Beatles, the members of the Beatles group. And we can also tie in London as well. So you've got the studios in London and some sites in London. So for the Beatles, you're looking at sort of Liverpool and London would be ideal. Lydia has asked, ages for your tours? Are they small groups or buses of 40? So ages, they're a real mix. I say that we do get a few families and some children. Actually, for the Normandy, the military D-Day 80th anniversary, we had quite a few children on that one. I'd say that most of them are adults, but they really do range from people in their 20s all the way to seniors. And are they small groups or buses of 40? You're looking at the average size group is 20, 30 people. We get some that like to fill a bus of 45, but then we've had some groups that are more sort of 12, 15 people. We've seen an uptick in that as well. So Mickey is asking, how do we bigger picture, how to stand alone tours to longer tours? So I'm not quite sure I completely understand what you're asking, but please do get in contact. I can come back to you more fully, but I don't know if you're looking at how you would put those two tours together and how to sort of come up with an estimated cost. I never really like to throw any costs out there because everything we do is customized and curated for the client. So therefore, it's going to depend on your number of people, the standard of accommodation, whether you're looking for 4 or 5 star, whether you're looking for those exclusive visits. So for example, if you're Downton Abbey and you want to go to Highclere Castle, we try and organise, or we can organise, and we try and push our clients to consider a private tour of Highclere Castle, which is where it's closed off to the public and it's just our groups and your clients in there, because it makes such an extra special experience for them. But again, doing the private upmarket experiences will make the budget bigger. Do you have extended tours for Bath and Stonehenge? Yes, so we can definitely include these in our packages. We don't have sort of set day trips because we're very much about group, bespoke, curated. So it's not like we're not a coach operator where we would say every Monday we have a bus going which people can book onto to go to Bath and Stonehenge. But if you have a group coming, we can definitely include that into their itinerary. Ashley, are some tours customizable as well as combinable for location and length of tour? Absolutely. Yeah. So all what you see on our website is purely an idea to get you thinking, to give you some helpful hints and tips. But yeah, all the tours, all the group tours, we customize to what you're looking for, what your client's looking for. And we're there to sort of feed you the information and come up with an itinerary that we think will serve your clients the best. But if they've got some specific locations that they, are a must for them that they want to include, or they're restricted to a certain time, or they want to expand it to a certain time, then of course, yeah, we work with you to adapt those tours as much as possible. We don't include flights, I'm afraid. That's the one thing. We include all other transportation, so we can do your coach. If you're going over to Europe and doing it, we can do tours over there as well, sort of to Normandy, France, Italy, and we can include ferries, Eurostar, coach, trains, everything. The only thing we don't include is flights, unfortunately. Yes, we can certainly include West End tickets. We can do that. The Bookings Commissioner, just seeing if there's anything else. And an interest in Celtic Christianity, which is great. It's a really, really popular one. We get asked that all the time. I think I've covered all the questions. Let me just double check. We don't have a travel agent portal at the moment. It's something we're looking to get into, but as mentioned, the group packages are all bespoke, so they'd be customised and sold to you net. And then if you want to look at any of our scheduled tours on our website, you would click on the Battlefield Tours link or the Tours for Individual. They're the only bookable tours we have. It is a smaller selection because the group tours is mainly what we do. But we can then work with you on the commission structure. So please do get in contact and I can explain how that works. Oh, sorry, my apologies. I think Lydia was asking if there is a minimum age allowed on the tours. No, if there was, we open it up to everyone. So if there was an attraction for some reason that said their minimum age was, for example, 8 years old, then of course we would let you know that information. But no, we welcome everyone of all ages. So yes, no restrictions. Just double check. I think I've almost got them. Sorry, I'm just scrolling. Someone has asked, where does an agent sign up on your website? So we don't have an agent login, but you can certainly sign up to be on our mailing list. That link up is on our website, and then you would get all our updates and all our mailings that we send out. If you can't see it or anything, please do send me a direct email. My email address, I believe, is still on the screen. Perfect. Someone said they didn't have any questions yet, but yeah, please do send me any questions at any time, any inquiries. Really, more than happy to answer, and looking forward to working with as many of you as possible. I think I've covered all the questions that I can see in the box. Apologies if I have missed anyone. But again, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. And yeah, look forward to working with you. Thank you. Bye-bye.